What's up, guys? This is the budget episode for our trip to Australia. This is where we share the expenses that we took for a family of 5 traveling to Australia. So the categories that we consider are flights, accommodations, transportation, activities, and food. And we break down all the costs so that way you guys get an idea of how much a trip like this would cost. So let's jump right into it. So first and foremost, anywhere in the world, you fly to Australia, it's going to cost a lot of money. Thankfully, you get a little bit of discount when it's a little bit shorter. So from Manila to Australia, it cost us 169,000 pesos, or about $3,050. So for accommodations, let me take a step back and explain a little bit of our logic. We try to separate high expense countries versus low expense countries. So the countries that we know are going to cost a lot of money, I think Singapore, Australia was one of them, versus the low expense countries like Vietnam and Thailand. We try to interchange those so that we don't take just heavy hit after heavy hit. For accommodations, we considered staying in downtown Sydney. Anywhere in downtown Sydney in a Marriott property, we're looking at $800 plus per room. So, with Jaron being over 5 feet tall and the 2 kids being, bigger and bigger, we need at least 2 rooms. So you're looking at $1,500 plus a night. I think there are better options, and there was. We ended up staying at an Airbnb just north of Sydney. Manly is connected to Sydney via a beautiful 15-minute ferry ride. So we were able to find an Airbnb and stay there for 7 nights for $2,845. So a little bit over $400 a night. Again, remember, if we elected to stay at a hotel, it's way over $1,000 a night. So I think this is the right choice. Another benefit of staying at an Airbnb is that they usually, or if you find the right property, it comes with usually a kitchen. So our Airbnb was a 3-bedroom with a full kitchen and full dining room. So another way to save on expenses, we decided to do groceries. And I think it saved us a ton of money, because one thing I wasn't prepared for are the food costs in Australia. So a bit of sticker shock when you look at different restaurants and even groceries at the grocery store. Everything's just more expensive. I dare I say more expensive than it is in the US. So I'll give you one example. We probably saved $200 for one dinner. Jaron was looking forward to a steak dinner, because finding a good steak anywhere here in Manila seems to be challenging, unless you're willing to pay upwards of $50 per meal. So when we went to Australia, out of curiosity, I peeked into the meat section, and we saw some beautiful Wagyu steaks for a very reasonable price. I know for a fact that we saved at least $200 just for that dinner, and we had steak twice that week. So we saved a ton of money by doing groceries there. So in total, we spent about $425 for food, and that's including $15 for 3 cookies at Butterboy. Man, those things were expensive, but they were good. My word of caution, anyone going to Sydney or to Australia, is the food costs are very expensive, so prepare for that. Another expense for us was transportation. So we considered renting a car and even driving, to the mountains, but we elected not to, simply because the beach that we wanted to spend the most time at was a 10-minute walk. So we spent most of as many days as we possibly could just relaxing and playing at the beach. The kids love the beach. They enjoy the water, they enjoy the sand, and we literally tried to stay as long as possible. The only thing stopping us was hunger. Transportation-wise, we spent a total of $400 on transportation between using Uber to get from certain places. It was raining a night or two and we had to take an Uber back from the city. Also, the biggest Uber expense was to and from the airport. I think that was about $80 per way. But I think the gem of this all was the ferry system, because the ferry at Manly Wharf takes you directly to Sydney. It's a beautiful 15-20 minute ride, and the ferries come very frequently. In total for the entire week, the ferry costs $60 for 5 of us. So that's $12 the entire week. And we probably went to the city at least three if not 4 times. And we went to the zoo via ferry too. So that was awesome. I highly recommend using the ferries. So another expense is activities. And this was a shocker to me because we didn't spend a lot of money on activities. And truth be told, we only went to the zoo, and the zoo cost us 150 Australian dollars, so about 100 American dollars. And we did a flying dress photo shoot for Elaine's birthday, which is about 250 Australian dollars. Another expense that I didn't expect, this is the naive American here, is a visa is required even for tourists to get into Australia. So it cost $100 for the 5 of us to apply for these visas, and I didn't know until 2 days before our trip. And on the site it says can take up to 72 hours, and I freaked out a bit. Thankfully they have an app called Australia ETA, I think that's what it's called, and I was able to upload the information there, pay everything, and we got the visas within 15 minutes of application. Whew. Crisis averted. So in total, when you factor in the costs of flying to Sydney, staying in this Airbnb for a week, the food costs, transportation wherever we went, and activities, we spent just shy of $7,000. Yes, $7,000 is a lot of money, but this is for a family of 5 for an entire week. I was surprised it wasn't more. So yeah, that's the expenses there. This week, we're just in Manila. We're trying to catch up with schoolwork. We're trying to do some extra schoolwork because next week, we are already leaving for our next trip. So thank you guys for coming along. Hopefully you guys find this content enjoyable. We're also happy to surpass 300 subscribers. Thank you guys for all you that I meet on these journeys. If it's not a swim up, bar in Bohol, or if it's on a ferry to Sydney, just meeting these fantastic people that are so gracious to have us is awesome. So thank you, all you guys who follow along. And if you haven't yet, go ahead and hit subscribe because we love sharing this adventure with you guys. This is your weekly reminder. Collect moments, not things. Take care, guys.